Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estela.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime. When you said Estela right now, you kind of sounded like you're like this.
Palo con punta.
Palo con punta, straight up. I don't know what was going on. So how's everybody doing? How are you doing?
I'm doing. How are you doing?
I'm doing. It was a crazy 2 days. Oh shoot, my bad. Yeah, you know what? We went on a little mini vacation, not a vacation, but kind of like a little trip or whatever.
A little one day
thing with my sister and my nephews, and I just realized that Dallas people do not like Houston. Like all they did was talk shit about how like it's not that hot here in Dallas and it's always hot in Houston. And, you know,
I didn't know that was a debate.
I had no idea. Like, I was just like, okay.
Do people not know that it is always hot in Houston?
Yeah, it's like...
That's nothing new.
I really give no fucks because I live and my home has an AC.
Yeah.
Your home has an AC. So it doesn't, you know? But yeah, that's all.
Where did that come from?
I don't know because it was hot in San Antonio. And we were in San Antonio. And they were like, oh, it's hot like this all the time. And, you know...
Who was saying that?
My sister. Okay. She was like, do you guys not wear jackets? I'm like, yeah, but I mean, it doesn't...
Dallas is like way inland. Like
we're like by
Houston is
the
like
devil's nipple. Like it's hot as fuck, you know. And that's all. Like,
do you not know the Gulf of Mexico?
I guess not. But it was like, and then my nephew was like, yeah, you know.
Oh, by people, Houston you just mean your relatives, not
like not everybody. I'm just saying my relatives.
A lo mejor I thought you ran into some people that were like
no, just my family itself. Yeah. Like my nephew kept saying that Houston was ghetto. How do you measure ghetto-ness? Like, I mean, I've been in Houston. I've been a Houstonian for a very long time.
More than you were in Dallas.
More than I was in Dallas. Yeah. I've been here more than 18 years. So, like, I'm from Houston. Like, I rep my city. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I am a Houstonian, and I'm never going to stop saying that. And my kids are from here, my husband, my family. But then you're going to come over here and, like, talk about my city's ghetto. I was like, oh, like, that kind of hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not lying.
I think that just goes with every city. Yeah, I mean, every city has parts of the town that aren't, so great.
Yeah, because when we got there, like, we were like, oh, I wonder if, like, people here rep their city, is San Antonio, we were just driving in. Like, we were just getting there. We were just kind of making conversation or whatever. And I was like, yeah, I mean, when you're from Dallas, you're proud to be from Dallas. And when you're from Houston, it's Texas, whatever. So we're just kind of going back and forth. And then my nephew just busted out with like, oh yeah, Houston's ghetto. I'm like, excuse, like that hurt my feelings a little.
Like, I don't think he knows Houston like that.
Like, right? I'm like, excuse me? Like, yes, I did. I kind of was like, I take it. You know how you kind of te pone la mano en el chest, like, excuse me?
You clutch your pearls?
I clutch my pearls that I don't have. And I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's like, for example, people that are like, I'm guessing that are from like Austin, they do the same thing, or I don't know.
I just think from any town or city, I guess. I don't know.
Guess, but I
mean, I guess it's not that big of a deal, but también, like...
I never expected it to hurt my feelings.
I didn't know that's how you guys felt.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like, tell me how you really feel, motherfucker.
They told you how they really felt.
Like, you feel like it's que vivo en el pinche infierno and shit? Like, okay. Like,
well, we did.
We do.
We do.
In the summer. Yeah. Pero, like, right now, she's like, why is it so hot here?
You should be Estela and check the weather. A lo mejor, maybe.
And let me tell y'all something. Yeah. When I came home, I asked Estela, ¿cómo va a estar? Porque ella sabe todo el pinche weather. Va a llover a esta hora. Va a ser frío.
Yeah, it's going to be... Va a amanecer a 49 tomorrow in the morning. It's going to start raining tonight, allegedly. You don't know because maybe it won't rain where we're at. Because, it's Houston after all.
Sometimes it's happened to me where it's raining at where I work, but it won't rain in my actual home. Yeah. And then like last week, I noticed that it was raining here on the Ring camera, but it wasn't raining at my job.
Right.
So it was like,
that's what I'm saying. But just know that for the next 3-4 days it's gonna be cold, pero ya el viernes y el sábado, like Saturday is gonna go up to 80.
Ya ves, ella sabe todo. So I just need to know.
I just always gotta be prepared.
I need to
what
make
am I gonna wear?
Yeah, I need to make sure my family doesn't come in those days.
I gotta
luego they're gonna talk shit?
Do I gotta take, just take out the Uggs, take out your slippers, take
for
out your
2
robes,
days?
Take out your robes, make caldo.
Hot cocoa.
Abuelita.
Chocolate, la abuelita.
Yeah.
El cafecito bien caliente y todo.
Caldo de pollo.
Y luego lo guardas porque el sábado domingo va a estar caliente.
You don't want to burn your mouth.
I mean, I don't know, pero this is what I was feeling right now. because it kind of hurt my little feelings.
Okay.
And then also it's been a little bit of a lazy Sunday, so we've been watching Harry Potter, and I'm hyped for the next one. So I don't know.
She had to tell my nephew, hold up, we're going to go record. I need you to not start part 4, the Goblet of Fire, until I come back.
And he was upset.
He's like,
I'm starting it right now. I'm like, no, you're not. Espérame.
Yeah.
Because I want to watch it with you.
Yeah.
You know? Because, I mean, I love Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I've been a fan for a long time. I mean, I've seen a lot of the movies already, pero no me acuerdo muy bien.
Mm-hmm.
Like the beginning, ya después de la 4, yo creo que ya, like, dejé el vicio. You know, because it got a little bit much.
You have to pay attention. You know, so you can get it. Because if you miss one thing, then you're like, I'm fucking confused.
Yeah,
Pero
But anyway, how's everyone? I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I hope you don't have to argue with your family about how
ghetto your town is
apparently.
Yeah.
That hurt my feelings. Can you believe that? Yeah. Because I was like, excuse me? Are you talking about where I live and I'm so proud to call my home? And then you're going to talk shit about me? It kind of hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway. So
sorry for that rant.
Yeah. Sorry for the rant. It had to happen. It had to.
You needed to vent.
I needed to happen. It needed to happen.
Because it just happened. So you needed to get it out.
Yeah, porque si no se me espero ya después, it's going to be like, why even talk about it?
It's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks.
It's
been hours.
Yeah.
It's been hours. Because still before they left, she still talked shit about how hot it was outside. Bitch. I mean, have you not?
It's just, I wish geographically,
yeah.
You got to know where you're at.
Yeah. I mean,
Houston is not Dallas, and Dallas is not Houston.
Never.
Very far apart.
Very far. We're so different.
Yeah.
And I know that people that probably don't have hopefully visited Houston or visited Dallas or visited Texas in general, y'all, because I just said it, y'all would know that it's not the same.
Nope.
And one Buc-ee's is not the same to the other Buc-ee's.
Nope.
We're different. So don't compare. And so when she told me that, she's like, it is 60 degrees right now. In Dallas, it's 60 degrees. I don't give a fuck. It's 87 in my house right now as we speak with the fucking humidity of 77, bitch.
Yeah.
What you want? Entonces tuve que traer el pinche Weather Channel. I should have brought you with me.
Shit, you should have called me.
I should have been like, let me get her on the line right now. A ver qué es lo que va a pasar ahorita. ¿Por qué? But anyway, our story does come from Estela this week.
Thank you.
What we got today.
Okay, so for today's case, we are going... Oh, forgot. Ya pasó spooky season.
Ya nos vamos a spooky season.
Yeah.
I mean, ahorita vamos a entrar al Día de los Muertos season. You know, and that's why I went to San Antonio to go to the festival. It was beautiful, and I learned a lot that I didn't know. So, pero ya pasamos.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're getting into, you know, ya ahorita ya estamos en noviembre. By the time this comes out, it'll be November.
It just flew by.
I'm glad because I'm ready for this year to be over. I'm sorry.
Oh,
it was a rough one.
Yep.
Yeah. But you know what? It's okay because there's always next year.
How do you know the next 2 months are going to still be rough? You don't know that.
I don't know that. Yeah. I don't know that. You're right. But yes, so we are out of spooky season right now. So what you got for us? Where we're going?
So for today's case, we are going to across the pond.
Oh, yeah. Harry Potter style?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes. To a town in Surrey, England called Camberley.
Camberley. I like that.
Not Camry. Camberley.
Not to be related to Toyota Camry.
No.
So if you would like to listen to our story about Camberley, London, is that Camberley, England.
Camberley, Surrey.
The fuck?
I guess England is a country. It's not like here in America we're like, she lives in Houston, United States of America. So I think Surrey's their state, or like what we would consider a state, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to need an explanation about that. But if you would like to come with us and listen to the story about Camberley, Surrey, puta madre, then grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started.
Let's take a quick break. Persons of Interest is back, and it's bigger than ever.
That scream will echo in my head for many years.
Taser! He's gonna shoot! Oi! Shots fired. Stay out! You got a gun on you!
He had the perfect aim.
I am absolutely stressed at that point. I have no idea where my officers are.
Persons of Interest available everywhere you get your podcasts.
I guess, and to kind of give you an idea of where it's located, it's actually 29 miles southwest of central London.
Okay.
So that's where it is.
I think we haven't been to London in a while, dude. ¿Cuándo fue la última vez? A few episodes, ¿verdad?
Yeah.
Ya tenemos mucho que no vamos. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I'm buckled up.
The fun, random, interesting fact about Camberley is that in the town, there was a pipe company that created a white elephant, kind of advertising the pipe company. And they
Wait. A white elephant or a white?
White.
Blanco. Elefante blanco. Okay.
Yes. And they kind of placed it like near a major road for advertising. So it kind of became like a landmark. Everybody knew that white elephant that's made out of pipes. And
kind of like a mascot.
yeah. So when the pipe company closed down and somebody else rented the location where they were previously located, it was written into the new contract that whoever took over the new lease or whatever had to upkeep the white elephant.
They couldn't get rid of the white elephant.
Yeah, and they had to maintain it, like actually keep it nice, looking clean and all that stuff.
Like pintarlo, like darle touch-ups and shit?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, and actually it's been known that as businesses move through that location, whoever takes over that place has to upkeep the white elephant. And I'm going to show you a picture of it real quick.
That's kind of cute.
No, look, it's made out of pipes. That's the thing.
Nunca le va a pasar nada. Oh, okay. That's a big-ass elephant.
Right? They placed it like in the kind of like on the side of a major road, like a major road's going to start. So everybody.
I mean, yeah. That elephant has a long trunk.
Yeah, as elephants do.
Yeah. That is a very interesting fact.
Random.
Very random.
Now, today's case, it's about a young girl who they dubbed the Devil's Daughter.
Not the Devil's Daughter.
The Devil's Daughter.
Not the Devil's Titty.
Remember Mary Bell? You know, she killed little boys. She was
yeah.
Think Mary Bell, but...
So era una motherfucker.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, también. So we'll begin the story with Sharon Carr. She was born in Belize in 1979. And a source here and there, not that it really matters, but some say she was born in December 21st, and other places don't say anything at all, but for sure, there's other places that say she was born in 1981. But for the most part, they all say 1979, like she's from 1979 at least.
Oh, I'm more in the 80s or late 70s, early 80s, basically. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. She had a horrible upbringing.
Oh, shit.
Like the worst. Hardly, I think it's safe to say that she hardly stood a chance, pretty much. She was born into poverty. Her dad was a violent drunk, and her mom, también, she had a very explosive temper. They were both emotionally and physically abusive towards each other and Sharon.
That's kind of weird because usually es uno en el otro. No siempre son los dos papás, you know?
Exactly.
That's so sad.
Yeah. And she witnessed drug and alcohol abuse. They, domestic fights. So she grew up never knowing what it was like to have somebody take care of you or have a parent be a parent, you know? At some point, dicen que el papá left the family. Like he left, and then her mom, which is también kind of weird. I couldn't really find her name because some sources say her name was Maria and other sources say her name was Molly.
Nada que ver ni Maria ni Molly.
Except for that they start with an M.
Yeah.
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 I'm leaning more towards Maria.
Why? I don't know. She sounds like Belize. I guess. I don't think there's many Mollys in Belize, but I don't know what.
We don't know. Now, pero maybe then. So I'm just going to call her Sharon's mom. Mm-hmm. The mom ended up meeting an Englishman in Belize because apparently Belize was a British colony up until the 1960s or something, and then they won their independence.
Mind blown.
And
I had no idea.
So she met an Englishman, and I think he was a soldier, and se juntaron, and then they moved to Camberley in Surrey, in England. So se fueron. And I think it was like in 1986. So
wait, who met the Englishman? ¿Su mamá?
La mamá.
La mamá. So el papá se la dejó y se fue.
Sí.
Y entonces la mamá, Mary Molly, or Maria Molly, found another man's.
Yeah, Englishman.
English. Y se la llevó a vivir ahí. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, and then some sources say that there was, before the Englishman, Maria Molly had a son. So it was like a little boy, Sharon, and Maria Molly que se fueron con el Englishman.
So se fueron con él. Y la recogió con los guachitos.
Sí.
Okay.
Yes. Now they're moving to the UK, a new opportunity to start fresh, out of poverty and maybe have like a little bit more of a stable home, which she never had. And things initially in Camberley seemed to be going well. Sharon began school and she was described as, very polite, very smart, very a charming student, siempre quería ayudar or whatever. And she played basketball and she did like a couple of little things here and there. Pero there were some teachers that say that they noticed that, she did all those things, but she always kind of preferred to hang out with boys, and older boys at that. As she grew a bit more, things started to change. Teachers noticed that she became very disruptive in class. She had an attitude, and she became very aggressive.
Oh, that sounds like somebody I know.
And Sharon began to smoke weed very young. I think she was like 11.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Where'd she get the money to buy it, though? Because I'm pretty sure weed's not that cheap.
In 1980s?
Oh, wow, you're right.
Now, her stepdad, at this point, or it got to a point where the stepdad had had enough of the relationship con Sharon's mom.
Con Molly
Maria, and decided to end things. He later went on to say that when he made the decision to tell her that they were going to separate, she poured boiling fat on him.
Oh, excuse me?
Yes. And él dijo que Sharon was...
¿Tóxica much? Bitch.
Sharon dijo que Sharon was present for...
So, vamos a ver. Breakdown. They're fighting. ¿Sabes qué? I'm pissed. Me quieres dejar. So, voy a traer esta pinche bote de grasa, de manteca.
We don't know if it's a bote. Maybe it was a jar
or something. Pero estaba boiling?
Yeah.
So, was she boiling it to get it ready para hacer chicharrones?
I don't know.
And then she threw it on him? Like...
I don't know. I wasn't there that day.
No, I think you missed it.
Yeah,
you
I missed it
by a little bit.
Yeah.
Pero what I'm trying to find out is like, did you just do you see where I'm coming from? Like,
maybe
did you just have
maybe it had like a pan. I don't know.
Like, I could just imagine like manteca. Like, okay, let's go and throw this on top of this man.
Pero manteca es manteca. This is fat.
So maybe like oil,
Maybe.
Maybe she was cooking up some chilaquiles or something.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think they do that.
I don't know. Okay, but that just sounded outrageous.
Like I said, Sharon was present, y él dijo que Sharon didn't even like flinch.
Ya estaba acostumbrada.
Yes, which is really sad if you think about it.
It is very sad.
Because she was little.
Yeah.
She was like 9, 10 and shit,
She was
a child.
A child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, violence and callousness wasn't the only thing that Sharon's mom had exposed her to from a very, very young age. She also introduced her to the voodoo culture.
Which I think, isn't that kind of common in the Middle East? Okay.
Yes, in the Central America?
Yeah.
Right?
I want to say
I think it's Central America. Yeah. She'd perform rituals that included sacrificing animals to gain control over others and that sort of type of thing. And Sharon herself...
Are you sure we're over with the spooky season? Because this sounds like pretty spooky.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Sharon herself took part in
También
sacrificing animals. And they said they were described as horrific.
Okay.
So trigger warning really quick. If you don't like to hear about animals dying, you can skip ahead like 30 seconds.
Abuse.
Yes. There was an instance when a neighbor's dog went missing and the dog was later found decapitated.
No, ma'am.
And it was always believed que fue Sharon who had done it, but they could never really prove it. But the neighbors were fucking scared of her. She was a child, y le tenían miedo. So that just goes to show you how they knew her to be and her mom and como vivían, Not even the neighbors, like the neighborhood le tenía miedo a Sharon.
Damn.
Yeah. So she did whatever she wanted. She had no rules. I think she would carry a weapon with her at all times. Stop. So she had like
Is this like a mini Chucky or something?
Like a pipe or something like that. Something she could put in her bag, like a knife or something.
The fuck?
So that brings us to June of 1992. Now, Katie Ratcliffe was an 18-year-old hairdresser, and she was kind of like in training at this place called Bumble's 2, where she had been for a couple of years. So Katie was a complete opposite of Sharon. She had grown up in a loving family. Her parents were Helen and Joseph Ratcliffe, and she had an older sister who was 20, and her name was Joanne. And the Ratcliffe family was very well off. They had money and they lived in a really nice neighborhood. Both Katie and Joanne had attended private schools. I think when they graduated, I think what the equal as like high school. Mm-hmm. parents like les compraron carros, like just top of the line shit. And her parents were disappointed that she didn't want to continue her education and wanted to be a hairdresser.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a hairdresser.
I know, but her dad, they were like, well, it was kind of like a waste of an education.
I bet like they probably like, you could have done whatever you wanted and you decided to be a hairdresser,
yes.
you know?
And her dad, well, that caused kind of like fights between them because they wanted something like something bigger for her. And that would cause disagreements between them. But he said that he still found it admirable that she found something that she wanted to do, even though they didn't agree with it, and she stuck with it. She was like, no, I'm going to do this. And she had been wanting to do it since she was little. So she followed that dream, even though it wasn't what her parents wanted her to do.
That's what she wanted to do. I mean,
yeah. Now, Katie was described as a very lovable person. She loved life. She had a good head on her shoulders. She was bubbly and friendly, and she had like a shit ton of friends. So on June 6th, she and her friends, or a friend, were getting ready to go out. Katie had worn a navy blue trouser suit and a white button-through bolero-style blouse with lace-up flat booties. And the young ladies headed to Ragamuffins, a nightclub in Camberley. So Katie was having a good time, having some drinky drinks, chilling,
dancing, doing it all.
Y luego she noticed that her ex-boyfriend ahí estaba también at the Ragamuffins. I think his name is Metin, M-E-T-I-N. Metin? I think that's how you say it. He later goes on to say that they did talk to each other inside the club. At first, when he first talked to Katie, he said that she didn't look drunk. But as the night went on, you know, obviously she was having drinks, y como que sí, se empezó a ver que, estaba tomada, and that she was being annoying and that she was bothering him and kept on going up to him. So he decided to leave.
Yeah, I mean, I would have been petty too.
And which he says that he left right before the bar closed, which was at 2 a.m. So according to her ex-boyfriend, ella le dijo that she still loved him and that she was upset that they had broken up. So that's why he was like, okay, I gotta get out of here, ya mejor me voy. And unbeknownst to Katie's friend or friends, Katie, when she noticed que él se fue, ella también se fue. Now, early morning on June 7th, 14-year-old Toby Howie, or Howe, H-O-W-E, Howie or Howe?
It's Howie. I think it's Howie.
Howie.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay, so 14-year-old Toby Howie and his 3 friends who had camped out the night before came across the lifeless body of Katie Ratcliffe. And she was actually found on a path near a cemetery. So kind of like against the wall of the cemetery. In the area of Farnborough, Hampshire. That's the area. That's what it's called.
Say it again.
Farnborough.
Hampshire.
Is
that the city?
Yeah, it's like the area.
Oh, okay.
The area, which it was like 10 minutes from Camberley. So like 2 to 4 miles away from where she had been.
She had been at the club. Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh. Now, Katie was found she was found pretty much half naked.
Oh.
And she had been like slashed and stabbed like about 30 times.
Damn.
So we're just going to round it to 30 because some sources say 27, 29, 30, 32.
About 30.
Mm-hmm. She was essentially mutilated.
Yeah.
The wounds were all over her body, tearing into her ribs, her lungs, her heart, her genitalia. And Detective Raymond Piper of the Hampshire Police described it as, quote, frantic, vicious, and sadistic, and también very frenzied, her wounds. It was initially believed that she might have been sexually assaulted because her clothes, like...
Yeah, because she was her half naked, you know? Yeah, uh-huh.
But then later they said that they didn't find any...
Sexual... evidence of sexual abuse?
Assault.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And when they found her, they noticed, that some of her jewelry had been missing or had been taken. As the investigation began, it was believed that Katie was killed, not where she was found. She was killed on Highview Road, which was around the corner.
So then maybe they killed her y luego la trajeron allí?
Yes.
Okay.
So after they killed her at Highview Road, they either carried her or dragged her to her final resting place. And there was actually people that reported hearing screams early on Sunday morning, like around 3 in the morning, so around 3:15 in the morning. So after speaking to people who had been at the club that night, which said it was like over 500 people, bitch.
Golly.
Yes.
They don't have any like fire hazards and shit?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I have no idea, but I don't know how big this place is.
500 people. That's a lot of people.
500 people. And they, for the most part, they managed to interview about 500 people.
Damn.
And I think there was like either, I don't know if it was like either 20 or something like 20 or 30 people that they didn't get to talk to, but they talked to a lot of people.
Shit.
And
I mean, there must have been packed in there.
Yeah.
I wonder how big the place is.
Same.
Yeah.
Now, detectives learned that Katie was seen speaking to some guys outside of the club.
Ya cuando se salió, detrás de su ex-boyfriend,
yes.
según, okay.
And they do manage to get in contact with the guys that were seen with Katie. And Philip Williams, which was one of the guys, said that him and his friends saw Katie standing by the taxi rank. So I guess cuando te pones donde pasan los taxis. And they went to talk to her because she seemed upset. Y luego dijo que she began telling them about her ex-boyfriend. And I guess, she must have been drunk, obviously, you know?
Yeah, porque she started spilling the beans and shit.
Yes.
Okay.
And then he says that he put his arm around her and tried to comfort her, and that they chatted about 10 minutes, and then that they offered her to give her a ride home, but that she didn't want their help and was asking for her ex-boyfriend, Metin, and wanted to go look for him. So ellos se fueron. And also kind of got creepy vibes because you're offering her a ride home and you're trying to put your arm around her and she's drunk. Fucking leave her alone, you know?
Just leave her alone.
Get her
She's
a taxi
crying.
so she can go
if
home,
you're
you know?
that concerned,
Yeah.
help her get a taxi and get her on the taxi instead of trying to, like, you want me to take you home?
Yeah.
Stupid ass.
I don't know. That's just the vibes that I got, you know?
Yeah, same.
Now, she was last seen crossing like a car park. So I guess donde se parquean los carros. And then I guess just crossing that. That was the last time she was seen. Police were able to conclude that Katie must have accepted a ride from somebody to be able to be killed in where she was found, right? To her parents, that didn't make sense because they said that Katie was sensible. She knew not to take rides from strangers. But again, she was pretty intoxicated. So, y era la madrugada. So I'm sure it was to a point where she was just like, fuck it, I gotta go home. A la mejor she was like...
Yeah, maybe she had been waiting for that taxi for a little bit and she's like, I just need to get home and...
find a ride or something.
Si alguien me lleva, pues me voy con ellos, you know?
They, like I said, they managed to talk to whoever had seen Katie last or could have been possibly been involved. But the people that they talked to and the leads that they received, they all led nowhere. And actually, criminal profilers assisted in the case, and based on the crime and the manner of it, they were looking for a male in his 30s and someone who was strong enough to drag Katie from one location to the other. And unfortunately, they were not able to find Katie's killer. There even was a reward, but nothing ever came of it. Yeah, then the case went cold. Now, on June 7th of 1994, so 2 years later, exactly to the day.
Damn.
14-year-old Sharon was attending Collingwood College Comprehensive. So nothing had changed with her. She was still Sharon, she was 14 at this point. She was still aggressive. Todavía le tenían miedo, you name it.
She still had a shank.
Yeah, she was ready.
Yeah, she was, you stay ready, you know?
Yeah. So on this day, Sharon asked 13-year-old Anne-Marie Clifford, that went to school with her, to help her look for a coin que se le había caído. I think they were in the restroom. Y pues Anne-Marie le tenía miedo, so no le iba a decir que no le iba a ayudar.
No, I'd be like, yeah, yo te lo busco. Te doy la mía. I can give you my coin.
Yes, I'd say, look,
I can give you my coin, baby.
I found it in my pocket. Here you go.
You can have all the coins. You want my dollars? I don't know what you... Here.
Oh, it's pence.
Pence,
or my
whatever.
Yeah.
Pero I would have given her all my fucking money, all my lunch money. Here you go, baby boo. Here you go.
So le empezó a ayudar, and I think she got her in a stall. Like, le dijo que she got her in a stall. And when they were in there, Sharon proceeded to stab Anne-Marie.
Okay. Wow.
With the 4-inch knife.
Wow. Okay.
After she was done, I think she left the bathroom. She left the restroom, I think. And very shortly after, a group of girls entered the bathroom for the bell or something. I keep saying bathroom, for the restroom. And saw Anne-Marie. Ahí toda bleeding.
They saw Anne-Marie in the stall?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So did they help her? Or
yeah, and they I think it was 5 girls, and they called for help, and that ended up saving her life.
Thank God.
Yeah, because if they didn't walk in as soon as Sharon had stabbed her, she would have died. Because Sharon ended up hitting her lungs.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Why is she so mad?
Yeah. Obviously, Sharon was caught. you know.
I mean, she didn't go nowhere. She was chilling, you know. She's like, I found my coin. Let's go.
And she was apprehended and was going to go to trial for what she did to Anne-Marie. And she was held at an assessment center. Meanwhile, she went to trial. And it was there that she tried to strangle 2 members of the staff.
¿Qué? No mames, güey.
Yes. So the trial came, of course, and she was found guilty of 2 counts of bodily harm and was sentenced to 2 years at Bullwood Hall Institute for Young Offenders. And I looked up this place, bro. And then they were saying que la pusieron aquí because it seemed like it was the only place that was going to be able to handle her. But this place, girl, it's something else también. It ended up shutting down. But I think there was, in like very early 2000s or maybe mid 2000s, there was an article that said that this place, Bullwood Hall, was one of the places with the highest suicide rate or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was like, ooh.
Well, she would have fit right in, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, if she was out there stabbing people and shit and trying to choke people.
So Sharon was now locked away, pero even though she was already, like, I guess you could say behind bars, Anne-Marie todavía le tenía miedo. She was scared.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was having a very difficult time. She had nightmares y no podía dormir. And I think it was said that her dad tenía que dormir at the foot of her bed con ella. Pero
wow, pobrecita.
she was 13, which kind of reminded me of the Slenderman stabbings.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And well, thankfully, tan siquiera la niña sí tenía like a loving family that was going to support her, and hopefully she was doing great.
Also reminded me of the stabbings of the little boy that killed his friends, que le dijo que se fueran
al baño.
Al baño también.
Sí, yeah. What are kids doing?
I have no idea. So I'm going to tell my kids not to go to the restroom.
If your friend asks you to go to the restroom, you tell them no, thank you.
No, thank you. And if they ask you to let me find you a coin, you can just give them your coin from your pocket. I'm not going to do it.
Or go get an adult.
Yeah, just be like, you know what? Let me go find you some help.
No, yeah. Or just, be like, no.
No.
Now, in 1996, after being sent to Bullwood, guards had to keep an eye on Sharon. They knew how she was. They knew that she would start shit, so they would monitor her. They even asked a specific guard to kind of befriend her para que she could confide in him for anything.
Como para calmarla.
If something ever came up, you know? Now, it was getting close to the time that she was going to be released. And Sharon began bragging to friends or other inmates or whatever how she was going to be released soon and never got caught for a murder that she had previously committed.
What?
And to the guard, who she had gotten comfortable with by this point, and she had actually developed a crush on him.
Okay, well, I mean, it is what it is.
She told him that Anne-Marie was not the only girl that she, quote, slit. And
slit?
And that the first time the first time that she did it and slit this other girl, she was 12. She was talking about Katie Ratcliffe.
OMG. She is the daughter of the fucking devil, dude.
It is reported that she also mentioned this to a probation officer and to other staff members. And of course, the staff contacted the police.
Hopefully, I was about to say, please tell me they told somebody.
And they would go on to interview her for 27 hours. During the lengthy interview, Sharon told investigators the only things that the killer would know about Katie's murder.
Only like details said, okay.
Right. Like a bracelet was taken from Katie. And she also described some of the injuries, which had not been released to the public because they were very gruesome. She actually ended up giving 3 different versions of what happened esa madrugada. Al principio, the very first one, she said that she was riding in a vehicle with 2 other boys and they picked up Katie. And I'm not sure what happened. And then after they picked her up, she stabbed Katie.
Just randomly?
Yes.
Okay.
The second version was that she got jealous of Katie because ella was flirting with the 2 boys and she was feeling left out. So she stabbed her and sexually assaulted her. That's what she said.
But there was no...
But that's what she said, right?
Okay.
Now, in the third version, dice that she was the only one involved. Like, she didn't mention that there was other 2 boys in this version, that she was the only one, and that she stabbed Katie.
Yeah, but she didn't say where she saw her or where she, came across her or anything, right?
Yeah, just that there was that she stabbed Katie and there was a car involved.
Okay.
That's all she said. So obviously there's some inconsistencies, but what doesn't change is that she says that she was the one. She stabbed Katie.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Now, investigators were like, okay, we got to search your house. Lady, ¿dónde vives? Oh, niña. Well, she was like 16 by now, so. Niña.
Yeah.
They searched her home, donde vivía con su mamá, and to see if they could find anything, just something. They go on to find Sharon's diaries. And in her diary entries, she wrote about referencing Katie's murder. She also wrote poems about it and other types of writings that, after finding this, investigators were like, okay, Sharon really is Katie's killer, because somebody could confess to something or give details about a murder here and there, but sometimes they hear it from other people,
Yeah.
But she wrote it, and
the details were just
too much. Yeah. And then these entries went back years.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like she was just writing it de repente, like she was like, oh, I'm going to blame myself for this, No,
they went back months and years, like right after Katie's murder.
Okay.
Those were the entries. Yes. Now I'm going to read you some of her entries and I'm going to show them to you.
Uh-huh.
Now this one is pertaining to Katie. It said, quote, I enjoy putting the blade up her.
Wow.
It made me feel powerful, end quote. And she also wrote, quote, I had to overcome her serenity, her security. She needed to be raped. That showed her well, end quote.
Wow.
Now.
And this girl, mind you, she was 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Another entry said, quote, I am a killer. Killing is my business and business is good.
Oh,
end quote.
Okay.
And there was also one page where she drew like a blade. And under it says, quote, oh, damn, I've got a taste for red rum, and God, I want to get drunk. Under that, she wrote, quote, nasty thoughts through the night, pure jealousy makes me want to fight, end quote. So she was writing poems.
Was rhyming.
Yeah, she was writing
She was
poems.
fucking rapping and shit.
Yes.
The fuck? Bars. Pinche spitting and shit. What the fuck?
Mira, te voy a enseñar la foto.
Y dibujó y todo, la verga. Oh. Oh, and she had good penmanship. Like, excuse me. Yeah, she had pretty good, escribía muy bien la muchachita, Very neat.
Obviously, Barbie's being sarcastic, FYI.
Obviously.
Now, she also wrote, quote, I was born to be a murderer. Killing for me is a mass turn on. And it just makes me so high, I never want to come down.
Mind you, she is 12.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, these kind of, obviously, some of these were not like all after Katie's murder, but obviously she was still young, 13, 14,
Yeah.
Now, this one, this one, she wrote about it too, but it's more like I don't want to say it's like a poem, but it's just, I'm going to read it. Look, I bring the knife into her chest. Her eyes are closing. She's pleading with me, so I bring the knife to her again and again. I don't want to hurt her, but I need to do violence to her. I need to overcome her beauty, her serenity, her security. There I see her face when she died. I know she feels like her life slowly drawn from her, and I hear her gasp. I guess she was trying to breathe.
I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, police find this, and they also try to reach out, or they do reach out to the two men or boys that Sharon says were with her in that car. They, bring these men in, and they were each other's alibis. Right? But things weren't adding up either way, because somebody moved Katie.
Yeah.
Sharon was 12.
She couldn't pick her up.
She couldn't have been able to move her.
Mm-hmm.
So she had help. She must have had some sort of help. So in that regard, as far as her having help or having accomplices or an assist or having an accomplice, there has never been enough evidence to actually build a case and take it to court, so that has always just stayed as is. Now, Sharon was charged with Katie's murder on May of 1996, and she was taken into custody. And even though she still continued to write entries in a diary here and there. And weeks later, so on June 7th, she wrote, quote, respect to Katie Ratcliffe, 4 years today.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember when she stabbed Anne-Marie, it was 2 years to the day that she had killed Katie Ratcliffe.
Yeah.
And she had been wanting to do it again.
That's crazy. So I guess that date kind of como que le dio como
something.
algo. Yeah, como que it meant something to her. Yeah, you're right.
Now, yeah, Sharon was in custody and she said all these things and they fight, but she would have a change of heart. And 2 months later, she would retract her confession.
What?
Yes. She went on to say that she hadn't done it and that on that night of Katie's murder, she was at home in bed. The trial...
There's no way, because you brought up shit that nobody else knew. Not only that, but you mentioned her by name.
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no way that you didn't even know who she was. No, there's no way.
The trial would begin the following year at the very end of February in 1997 and would last 4 weeks. And Sharon was 17 by that point. Mm-hmm. And even though Sharon had retracted her confession and pleaded not guilty, the prosecution still felt confident that they had enough that would prove her guilty.
Yeah.
And that included, we just read excerpts from her diary entries, poems, and letters that she wrote, and also recorded phone calls that she made to friends and her mom. And all of them were presented to the jury. And there was actually a video that was also presented to the jury. Mm-hmm. Now, in one of the letters that she wrote to a friend named, I think, Caroline, she wrote, quote, I swear I was born to be a murderer since I left the nut bag of my father.
Not the nut bag.
Every night I see the devil in my mirror, but I realize it's just me and my heart of terror. In another letter to the same friend, she wrote... I would
be scared not to be her friend. I'd be like, okay, I'll be your friend, boo. I'll be your friend, boo.
She said, quote, I was cruising with my homies and I saw a bitch standing in the corner. I showed her my thing and told her to play it cool, but that bitch wanted to be a hero and I did her. I'm not sorry, but I had to do it. Now I lay in my bed and I can't sleep. I'm in too deep. I had to kill her, but I'm no longer a hunter, but the hunted, end quote.
What? Oh, wow.
Now, so all these were read out to the jury, right? También, the transcript of, like I just said, one of the recorded calls or some recorded calls that she had during the time that she was being held. The first call, she asked a friend to get rid of a black knife because, quote, otherwise I'll be in a lot of trouble. And then in a different call, she, again, to the same friend, she asked her, did you do it? Like, did you get rid of the knife? Mm-hmm. And on a call with her mom, she got asked by her mom if she had done it. And she said, quote, yeah, but it was ages ago. Oh. And then her mother then said, you didn't stab her or nothing? And then she responds, well, yeah. And there, like I just mentioned, this video, there was a video from the year prior. So it was filmed or recorded the day before they charged her. And in the video, she showed the authorities how, quote unquote, she stabbed Katie.
So they kind of like gave her like a reenactment. Okay,
yes.
Okay.
And in the 10-minute video, Sharon shows how she brought down the knife to Katie, kind of using a ruler. And as she was demonstrating this, se estaba riendo.
No, ma'am. You did it. You did it.
The defense, from what I could find at least, because all of these, for the most part, were from newspaper articles from the time. I couldn't find anything that the defense really had on their end.
Like, what are they going to say?
Yeah, the only thing that I could find that they kind of like had a rebuttal for, or, was that saying that the poems that she wrote or the bars and entries were based off songs on the radio. That's the only thing I could find.
Well, that or the fact that she said she didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did she even have an alibi to say that she was at home and shit? Like, probably
just that
not.
She said that she was at home?
Yeah, but no.
Now, on March 25th of 1997, Sharon was found guilty of the murder of Katie Ratcliffe by a jury of 7 men and 5 women.
As she fucking should. As
the verdict was read out loud, Sharon, slumped into her seat with her head in her hands.
Oh, she was sad.
Now, she was initially sentenced to 14 years in prison, but Judge Justice Scott Baker recommended she be detained at Her Majesty's pleasure. So just means indefinitely, pretty much. And he went on to say to Sharon, quote, the evidence suggests that you were not alone when you stabbed Katie Ratcliffe to death in June of 1992. Who the others were and any part that they played remains unclear. What is clear is that you had a sexual motive for this killing, and it is apparent from both the brutal manner in which you mutilated her body and chilling entries in your diary recording what you had done. That killing, as you put it, turns you on. You are, in my view, an extremely dangerous individual. Now, I mean, obviously, they sent her to prison or she was locked up, and obviously she had, she was seeing a psychologist and psychiatrist, and
she was probably like a menace to the society, like straight up, like they would have been scared to let her go.
Yeah. And she was also diagnosed with schizoaffective disorders, which was years later, which I kind of reminded me también of
the guy from Canada.
No.
I know what you're talking about.
I know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, pero no me acuerdo. What was his name?
Nico Jenkins.
Yes. Nico. Yes. Okay,
Now, she did put in multiple requests to be released from prison, but they have all been thrown out by the parole board.
They better throw it and burn that motherfucker.
Evidence presented to the panel showed that her behavior had been variable, and there had been some instances of violence since she was, since she was found guilty. And like I just mentioned right now, of course, she got psychological help in prison. And based on the experts, she still shows the same risk factors.
Damn. Like nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Nothing has changed.
Maybe some behavior here and there, but the way that she reacts to certain things or becomes obsessed with certain people or stuff like that. Like, let's say she starts dating somebody, ¿verdad? And she becomes obsessed with them. Y let's say que la quieren dejar.
Los va a matar. Yeah. That's so fucking scary.
And that's the case of Sharon Carr. But I'm sure, obviously, there's like a whole bunch of psychological aspects that go into this. And there was a psychologist, I don't know why I didn't add his quote in, but he says that her case is very unique because when we do find children that kill other children, it's other children that are usually smaller than them.
Yeah.
She killed somebody who's technically an adult.
Yeah.
And that hardly ever happens. And they say that when a woman kills another woman, is usually to... you just do it to kill her and then that's it. But this was overkill.
Like, she enjoyed it.
She mutilated her genitalia, like, obviously, like she said. And she enjoyed it, and she was a little girl. She was 12.
Yeah.
And your daughter's 12. Like, I cannot compute.
Not even.
Like, no.
Mm-mm. That is the
but
craziest
obviously
thing.
The way that she grew up, I'm sure there's I'm
sure her mom had a lot to do with or what she saw and like all of that shit that from her parents when she was younger back in Belize, and then moving with this new guy, and then le aventaron la grasa, all this other shit. Like, she probably, it was just watching this shit and just
she grew up in it. And I know that's not an excuse. I know a lot of other people do, but a lot of other people do too. But she
might have just had like a psychological imbalance and since the beginning, and then added on to all of that.
All that trauma.
Kind of even made it worse,
Yeah, because they did say that, you did have a mental illness, but you weren't crazy. No. Like, you knew what you were doing right from wrong.
And she was very intelligent.
Yes.
She was very intelligent. And I wasn't trying to be funny about her writing was very clear, and it was actually like...
I mean, I know it's very morbid and gruesome, but she was fucking writing poems. I mean, those were fucking poems.
Yeah. And at that age, being someone that never probably listened to anybody at school and shit like that.
Like, she had no authority figures. Actual, people that she could look up to.
Yeah, and then for her to go and stab a little girl in the freaking restroom, like, bitch. Yeah, that's some crazy shit. Yeah, she's the devil for sure. She wasn't the daughter. She was the devil.
She is.
She is the devil. She's probably still alive, huh? ¿Cuántos años tendrá? She's in her 40s right now.
She's probably like 47. She's from 79, isn't Vanessa?
Yeah, my sister's from 79, so she's probably like 44.
Yeah.
Yeah, 44, 45, por ahí.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is psycho. Yeah, that bitch is crazy.
Yeah. And that's the case. Well, I already said that. Never mind.
That is crazy. Well, let us know what you think. Thank you so much for everybody to send us messages and that you guys are sending comments and all of those things. We really enjoy reading them. But if you would like to send us a message on Instagram, you can follow us at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to download our episodes and share our podcast and leave us a review, that'd be great.
All of it. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving month, because the whole month is Thanksgiving, dude.
If you celebrate it, I guess.
Yeah, or a whole like great month of November.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was wonderful being here, and you guys have a wonderful day.